Driving theory test for uncategorized.
Question 129. What does this sign mean? A. Traffic calming measures ahead. B. Bend in the road to the right ahead. C. End of no overtaking zone. D. Traffic must cross over to the right-hand lane.
Question 129. Answer: D. Traffic must cross over to the right-hand lane. Explanation: this roadworks warning sign tells you that the course of the road will temporarily cross the central reserve to the right.
Question 236. What does this road marking mean? A. Vehicles may not cross or straddle the line. B. The line may only be crossed during daylight hours. C. Only motorcycles may cross or straddle the line. D. You may park during daylight hours.
Question 236. Answer: A. Vehicles may not cross or straddle the line. Explanation: you must not cross or straddle a continuous white line in the center of the road unless you wish to enter land or premises and it is safe to do so.
Question 237. What does this road marking mean? A. Pick up a passenger. B. Reverse the vehicle. C. No U-turn allowed. D. The line may only be crossed during daylight hours.
Question 237. Answer: C. No U-turn allowed. Explanation: a continuous white line is marked on the road where it is dangerous to carry out any of the above maneuvers. This is because it may be in a built-up area or an area of restricted vision, such as in a bend or on a section of road which has a dangerous junctions joining it.
Question 282. Which vehicle is in the correct position to make a left turn from a minor road onto a major road? A. Car 1 is in the correct position to make the left turn. B. Car 2 is in the correct position to make the left turn. C. Car 3 is in the correct position to make the left turn. D. Car 4 is in the correct position to make the left turn.
Question 282. Answer: B. Car 2 is in the correct position to make the left turn. Explanation: the correct position from which to turn left from a minor road to a major road is to keep close to the left-hand side of the roadway as you can safely. When turning left, do not swing wide or mount the curb.
Question 41. What does this sign mean? A. With flow bus and cycle lane on the left. B. Parking for buses and cyclists on the left. C. Cycle track ahead may be crossed by buses only. D. Cyclists and buses not allowed ahead.
Question 41. Answer: A. With flow bus and cycle lane on the left. Explanation: this sign indicates a with flow bus lane ahead. Only buses, taxis and cyclists may use the bus lane during the stated operational hours.
Question 516. Which learner permit holders are exempt from having to be accompanied by qualified drivers? A. Learner permit holders in categories A, L and M. B. All learner permit holders in category B and W. C. None. D. All.
Question 516. Answer: A. Learner permit holders in categories A, L and M. Explanation: learner permit holders in categories A, L and M do not have to be accompanied by qualified drivers. Learner permit holders in these categories must not carry a passenger.
Question 738. When should a driver use the vehicle side lights? A. Driving in fog. B. Driving at more than 50 km per hour. C. Driving in an unlit area at night. D. When parking on an unlit road.
Question 738. Answer: D. When parking on an unlit road. Explanation: you should use the side lights of your vehicle when parking on an unlit road at night, so that the vehicle can be easily seen by other road users.
Question 739. How does a driver know if the bulb in a side light has failed? A. A warning buzzer sounds when the side lights are switched on. B. None of the lights operate when switched on. C. By checking the side lights when they are switched on. D. By checking the side lights when reversing the vehicle.
Question 739. Answer: C. By checking the side lights when they are switched on. Explanation: you must ensure that the lights in your vehicle are working properly before driving on the road. Check all the vehicle lights regularly by switching them on and getting out of a vehicle to see if they are working, or by getting someone else to check.
Question 740. On a motorway, when should a driver use the hazard warning lights? A. A vehicle is following too closely. B. Driving on the hard shoulder. C. When slowing down quickly because of danger ahead. D. You are towing another vehicle.
Question 740. Answer: C. When slowing down quickly because of danger ahead. Explanation: use hazard warning lights to warn other road users of a danger ahead. For example, you can use the hazards warning lights to warn following vehicles of your presence in these situations. 1. If you have to slow sharply, for example, because of a buell.
Question 741. What effect do the hazard warning lights have on the brake lights? A. It causes them to flash repeatedly. B. They have no effect. C. It causes the left and right brake lights to flash alternately. D. They will shine brighter.
Question 741. Answer: B. They have no effect. Explanation: use hazard warning lights to warn other road users of a danger ahead. For example, you can use the hazards warning lights to warn following vehicles of your presence in these situations. 1. If you have to slow sharply, for example, because of a buell.
Question 742. On a motorway, when should a driver use the hazard warning lights? A. When the vehicle has broken down. B. When the brake lights are not working. C. When parking for a short period on a single yellow line. D. When about to pull in and stop.
Question 742. Answer: A. When the vehicle has broken down. Explanation: use hazard warning lights to warn other road users of a danger ahead. For example, you can use the hazards warning lights to warn following vehicles of your presence in these situations. 1. If you have to slow sharply, for example, because of a buell.
Question 743. What does using the vehicle's hazard warning lights allow a driver to do? A. To warn other road users when parking on double yellow lines. B. To warn other road users when parking on the brow of a hill. C. To warn other road users when making a delivery. D. To warn other road users that the vehicle is broken down.
Question 743. Answer: D. To warn other road users that the vehicle is broken down. Explanation: use hazard warning lights to warn other road users of a danger ahead. For example, you can use the hazards warning lights to warn following vehicles of your presence in these situations. 1. If you have to slow sharply, for example, because of a buell.
Question 744. When should a driver use their hazard warning lights? A. When the driver is double parking. B. When the brake lights are not working. C. When the vehicle has broken down. D. To show your irritation at other drivers.
Question 744. Answer: C. When the vehicle has broken down. Explanation: use hazard warning lights to warn other road users of a danger ahead. For example, you can use the hazards warning lights to warn following vehicles of your presence in these situations. 1. If you have to slow sharply, for example, because of a buell.
Question 745. When should a driver use their vehicle's hazard warning lights? A. When reversing into a narrow road. B. When parked at a bend or corner. C. When causing an unavoidable obstruction. D. When moving slowly.
Question 745. Answer: C. When causing an unavoidable obstruction. Explanation: Use hazard warning lights to warn other road users of a danger ahead. For example, you can use the hazards warning lights to warn following vehicles of your presence in these situations. 1. If you have to slow sharply, for example, because of a buell.
Question 746. What lighting should be on a car trailer? A. Indicators, brake lights. Rear number plate light, red reflectors and rear tail lights. B. Indicators and rear number plate light only. C. Brake lights and indicators only. D. Reversing light.
Question 746. Answer: A. Indicators, brake lights. Rear number plate light, red reflectors and rear tail lights. Explanation: all vehicles, including trailers, must have rear indicators, brake lights, a rear number plate light, red reflectors and rear tail lights.
Question 747. What lighting should be on a tractor-trailer during lighting up hours? A. An unloading light. B. Indicators, brake lights, rear number plate light, red reflectors and rear tail lights. C. Indicators and rear number plate light only. D. Brake lights and indicators only.
Question 747. Answer: B. Indicators, brake lights, rear number plate light, red reflectors and rear tail lights. Explanation: all vehicles, including trailers, must have rear indicators, brake lights, a rear number plate light, red reflectors and rear tail lights.
Question 748. What does this warning light indicate? A. Low level of water coolant. B. Low oil pressure. C. A fault in the braking system. D. Defective indicator bulb.
Question 748. Answer: C. A fault in the braking system. Explanation: if the brake warning light is on, there is a problem with the braking system in the vehicle or the handbrake is on. You should not drive the vehicle until the problem has been rectified.
Question 749. The handbrake generally works on which wheels? A. The rear right-hand wheel. B. All the wheels. C. The front wheels. D. The rear wheels.
Question 749. Answer: D. The rear wheels. Explanation: the function of the handbrake, or parking brake, is to stop the vehicle from moving when it is parked or when it is stopped on a hill. You normally use the handbrake when the vehicle is already stationary. You don't use it to stop the vehicle. In
Question 750. In general, above what gross vehicle weight must a trailer have brakes fitted? A. 500 kilograms. B. 750 kilograms. C. 900 kilograms. D. 850 kilograms.
Question 750. Answer: B. 750 kilograms. Explanation: brakes must be fitted to a trailer if its gross vehicle weight exceeding 750 kilograms or half the weight of the towing vehicle.
Question 751. What is the recommended method of driving a vehicle with automatic transmission? A. Use the handbrake to bring the vehicle to a halt. B. Operate the accelerator and brake with the left foot. C. Operate the accelerator and brake with the right foot. D. Operate the accelerator with the right foot and the brake with the left foot.
Question 751. Answer: C. Operate the accelerator and brake with the right foot. Explanation: when driving an automatic vehicle, you should use the right foot to operate both the accelerator and the brake, just as in vehicles with a manual gearbox.
Question 752. When driving a vehicle with a diesel engine in freezing weather, what should a driver ensure? A. That the driver uses a diesel with a high sulfur content. B. That the fuel level in the tank does not drop below quarter full. C. That the fuel filter is drained. D. That the fuel is treated with an anti-waxing agent.
Question 752. Answer: D. That the fuel is treated with an anti-waxing agent. Explanation: road diesel is supplied with an anti-waxing agent added to it. This generally prevents the fuel from freezing at temperatures as low as -15 degrees Celsius.
Question 753. What is a possible effect of overfilling the engine with oil? A. It could burst the oil filter. B. It could damage the catalytic converter. C. It could reduce oil pressure. D. It could damage the oil pump.
Question 753. Answer: B. It could damage the catalytic converter. Explanation: catalytic converters are part of most vehicles' exhaust system. They remove up to 75% of the carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide and hydrocarbons from the vehicle's exhaust. Catalytic converters can be permanently damaged if, for example, the car is fuel.
Question 754. What should a driver do if the fuel system becomes airlocked? A. Tighten the injector pipes. B. Increase the air pressure. C. Bleed the air out of the fuel system. D. Drain the fuel filter.
Question 754. Answer: C. Bleed the air out of the fuel system. Explanation: the fuel system can become airlocked if you let the fuel get too low or if there is a leak in the system. You should have the problem corrected before driving. The solution may be as simple as bleeding the fuel system to release the air.
Question 755. Is a driver allowed to use rebated, green, diesel fuel in a car on a public road? A. Green diesel may never be used in a car. B. Green diesel may be used in a car only if the car is a taxi. C. Green diesel may be used in a car only in winter months. D. Green diesel may be used in a car only in summer months.
Question 755. Answer: A. Green diesel may never be used in a car. Explanation: if, in its normal use, a vehicle is used on a public road, it must use unmarked, white, diesel, as the appropriate excise duties are included in the purchase price. You can be prosecuted for using green diesel in a vehicle on a public road.
Question 756. What should a driver do to reduce the risk of neck injury in a rear-end collision? A. If airbags are not fitted, use a properly adjusted head restraint. B. Use a properly adjusted head restraint. C. Ensure the vehicle has anti-lock brakes. D. Ensure the vehicle has a rear spoiler.
Question 756. Answer: B. Use a properly adjusted head restraint. Explanation: head restraints are designed to protect the neck and spine in a collision and thus prevent or reduce whiplash. They should be properly adjusted for both the driver and the passengers.
Question 757. When must a tractor or works vehicle be fitted with a rear view mirror? A. A rear view mirror must always be fitted. B. Only when towing a trailer over 8 meters long. C. Only when towing a trailer. D. It is not required.
Question 757. Answer: A. A rear view mirror must always be fitted. Explanation: all vehicles used on a public road must have a rear view mirror to enable the driver to see road and traffic conditions behind and to each side.
Question 758. What is the minimum legal tread depth for tires on cars? A. 0.8 mm. B. 1.6 mm. C. 1 mm. D. 1.8 mm.
Question 758. Answer: B. 1.6 mm. Explanation: all road vehicles, except motorcycles and vintage vehicles, must have a minimum tire tread depth of 1.6 mm over the main tread. However, for safety reasons, you should replace the vehicle's tires before they become this worn.
Question 759. What does the load index of a tire indicate? A. The maximum air pressure of the tire. B. The maximum load a tire can carry. C. The maximum load of the vehicle. D. The maximum load per axle.
Question 759 Answer, B. The maximum load a tire can carry. Explanation: the load index indicates the maximum weight that a tire can support safely. When replacing the tire on your vehicle, you should make sure that the new tire maintains the proper load index for the vehicle.
Question 760. Under what circumstances could both cross-ply and radial tires be fitted to a vehicle? A. When towing a trailer in snow. B. In icy or slippery road conditions. C. When each type is fitted on a different axle. D. When heavy loads are being carried.
Question 760 Answer, C. When each type is fitted on a different axle. Explanation: in general, you should fit the same type of tires all around the vehicle. However, if you need to fit a mix of cross-ply and radials, the tires on any axle should be of the same type.
Question 761. What is the effect of resting the foot on the clutch pedal? A. It allows corners to be taken without reducing speed. B. It facilitates quicker gear changes. C. It allows downhill speeds to be controlled more effectively. D. It wears out the clutch more quickly than normal.
Question 761 Answer, D. It wears out the clutch more quickly than normal. Explanation: the clutch is the connection between the engine and the gearbox. It enables the vehicle to move when a gear is engaged. When driving, you should not rest your foot on the clutch pedal, because it might disengage the selected gear and/or damage the CL.
Question 762. When the fluid reservoir is full to the mark, how would a driver check that the power-assisted steering is working effectively? A. Turn the steering with the brake pedal fully pressed. B. Turn the steering from lock to lock with the engine switched off. C. Turn the steering with the brake pedal lightly pressed. D. Turn the steering wheel from lock to lock with the engine running.
Question 762 Answer, D. Turn the steering wheel from lock to lock with the engine running. Explanation: before starting a journey, check that the power-assisted steering is working by starting the engine and turning the steering wheel from full left lock to full right lock to see that it operates smoothly and effectively.
Question 763. What should the driver of a vehicle with power-assisted steering, PA, do if steering becomes more difficult as they are driving? A. Drive in a higher gear with reduced engine revs. B. Drive in a lower gear with increased engine revs. C. Increase the front tire pressure. D. Stop. Check the level of the fluid and top up if necessary.
Question 763 Answer, D. Stop. Check the level of the fluid and top up if necessary. Explanation: most modern vehicles have power-assisted steering, PA. PA requires less effort and feels lighter, especially when carrying out maneuvers such as parking, U-turns and reversing. You should be aware that it is easy to oversteer with PA.
Question 764. What is the effect of an incorrectly adjusted driver's seat? A. Offers the driver a better view in the rear view mirror. B. It can delay the driver from operating a control. C. It can enable the driver to relax more on a long journey. D. It can improve the driver's vision.
Question 764 Answer, B. It can delay the driver from operating a control. Explanation: before starting a journey, you should adopt a suitable and comfortable driving position by adjusting the driver's seat to a position where all the vehicle controls can be operated efficiently.
Question 765. While driving in rain, a driver notices that the wiper blades are worn. What should they do? A. Roll down the window and drive slowly. B. Stop and wipe the windscreen with newspaper. C. Use the windscreen washer system all the time while it rains. D. Have the blades replaced as soon as possible.
Question 765 Answer, D. Have the blades replaced as soon as possible. Explanation: Use the windscreen wipers to keep the windscreen clear of rain, spray, snow or fog. Check them regularly to ensure that they are in good working order, and replace them when they become worn, before they become ineffective.
Question 766. If the wiper blades are frozen to the windscreen, what should the driver do? A. Roll down the window and drive slowly with your head out the window. B. Switch the wipers to high speed to free them. C. Defrost the windscreen before switching on the wipers. D. Pull the wipers free before switching them on.
Question 766. Answer: C. Defrost the windscreen before switching on the wipers. Explanation: before starting a journey in icy weather, make sure that the windows are clear. Use the demister to clear the windows and defrost the wipers so that they can be used to clear the windscreen.
Question 767. What problem is indicated when wipers suddenly cease to function? A. A fuse has blown. B. The windscreen washer reservoir is dry. C. The wiper blades need to be replaced. D. The alternator is faulty.
Question 767. Answer: A. A fuse has blown. Explanation: check the vehicle's windscreen wipers regularly to ensure the blades are in good condition, and check that there is water in the washer bottle. If the wipers stop working suddenly, the most likely cause is a blown fuse.
Question 768. What should a driver add to windscreen washer fluid in freezing weather? A. Have hot water added. B. Be diluted with methylated spirits. C. An extra detergent for windows. D. A mild anti-freezing agent for windows.
Question 768. Answer: D. A mild anti-freezing agent for windows. Explanation: in cold weather, use an anti-freezing agent in the windscreen washer fluid, so that the windscreen can be cleared if required.
Question 769. What should a driver do when the wiper blade on the driver's side is partly worn? A. Switch the driver and passenger wiper blades. B. Repair it with sticky tape. C. Have the worn blade replaced with a new one. D. Stop driving during wet weather.
Question 769. Answer: C. Have the worn blade replaced with a new one. Explanation: use the windscreen wipers to keep the windscreen clear of rain, spray, snow or fog. Check them regularly to ensure that they are in good working order, and replace them when they become worn, before they become ineffective.
Question 770. Why is a windscreen laminated? A. Blocks the harmful rays coming from the sun. B. Shatters into large fragments when struck by an object. C. Is glass which has the registration number of the vehicle etched onto it. D. So as not to shatter into large fragments when struck by an object.
Question 770. Answer: D. So as not to shatter into large fragments when struck by an object. Explanation: a laminated windscreen, a plastic film sandwiched between two layers of glass, is designed not to break into large fragments when struck by an object. This is to prevent serious injury to the driver and passengers.
Question 771. When changing a wheel on their vehicle on a public road, what should a person do? A. Turn on the hazard warning lights. B. Ask a passenger to stand on the road to warn other traffic. C. Place a red warning triangle to the left side at the rear of the vehicle. D. Turn on the full beam headlights.
Question 771. Answer: A. Turn on the hazard warning lights. Explanation: when changing the wheel on a public road, make yourself as visible as possible. Wear high visibility outer clothing. Turn on the hazard warning lights. And place a red warning triangle to the rear of the vehicle on the right-hand side.
Question 772. When changing a wheel on their vehicle on a public road, what should a person do? A. Turn on the full beam headlights. B. Place a red warning triangle to the right side at the rear of the vehicle. C. Place a red warning triangle to the left side at the rear of the vehicle. D. Ask a passenger to stand on the road to warn other traffic.
Question 772 Answer B. Place a red warning triangle to the right side at the rear of the vehicle. Explanation: when changing the wheel on a public road, make yourself as visible as possible. Wear high visibility outer clothing, turn on the hazard warning lights, and place a red warning triangle to the rear of the vehicle on the right-hand side.
Question 773. When changing a wheel on their vehicle on a public road, what should a person do? A. Turn on the full beam headlights. B. Ask a passenger to stand on the road to warn other traffic. C. Wear reflective clothing if available. D. Place a red warning triangle to the left side at the rear of the vehicle.
Question 773 Answer C. Wear reflective clothing if available. Explanation: when changing the wheel on a public road, make yourself as visible as possible. Wear high visibility outer clothing, turn on the hazard warning lights, and place a red warning triangle to the rear of the vehicle on the right-hand side.
Question 782. What cars are required to have rear seat belts fitted? A. Cars first registered prior to 1st of January 1992. B. All cars. C. Cars first registered after 1st of January 1992. D. Cars first registered prior to 1st of January 1995.
Question 782 Answer C. Cars first registered after 1st of January 1992. Explanation: rear seat belts are compulsory on all cars registered after 1st of January 1992.
Question 783. Where seat belts are fitted to a car, when must adult occupants wear them? A. For all journeys exceeding 10 kilometers. B. On long journeys only. C. At all times. D. Except in built-up areas.
Question 783 Answer C. At all times. Explanation: the driver and all passengers in a car must wear a seatbelt or, in the case of a child, a suitable restraint system.
Question 784. What is the purpose of a seatbelt? A. To prevent the wearer from being thrown backwards in the event of a crash. B. To keep the seat upright in the event of a crash. C. To prevent the wearer from being thrown forward in the event of a crash or abrupt deceleration. D. To prevent the seat from moving forward when the brakes are applied.
Question 784 Answer C. To prevent the wearer from being thrown forward in the event of a crash or abrupt deceleration. Explanation: seatbelts save lives and reduce the risk of injury by restraining the occupants of a vehicle in the event of a crash or sudden deceleration.
Question 785. When should a driver put on their safety belt? A. Not later than the time they engage top gear. B. When driving outside an urban area. C. Once their speed has exceeded 50 km per hour. D. Before they move off.
Question 785 Answer D. Before they move off. Explanation: before moving off, put on your seatbelt and make sure that all your passengers also have theirs on.
Question 786. Who is responsible for ensuring that a passenger over 17 years of age is wearing a seat belt while traveling in a car? A. The driver when the passenger is in the front seat. B. The passengers only. C. The driver only. D. Both the driver and the passengers.
Question 786 Answer B. The passengers only. Explanation: if the passenger is over the age of 17, it is their responsibility to comply with the seat belt regulations. Below that age, it is the driver's responsibility.
Question 787. Who is responsible for ensuring that a passenger under 17 years of age is wearing a seat belt while traveling in a car? A. The passenger's parents. B. The passengers themselves. C. The driver. D. The driver, when the passenger is in the front seat.
Question 787 Answer: C. The driver. Explanation: if the passenger is over the age of 17, it is their responsibility to comply with the seat belt regulations. Below that age, it is the driver's responsibility.
Question 788, in general. How should infants be secured in a vehicle? A. They should always be secured in the child restraint system. B. They should always be placed in the front passenger seat. C. They should always be placed in the front passenger seat wearing a seat belt. D. They should always be carried on an adult's lap.
Question 788 Answer: A. They should always be secured in a child restraint system. Explanation: as safety belts are designed mainly for adults and older children, infants and small children must be restrained in an appropriate child restraint system.
Question 789. Should an infant who is not secured in a child restraint system be carried in the front passenger seat? A. Yes. B. No, an infant must always be restrained in a correct child seat. C. Yes, only if the vehicle is fitted with airbags. D. Yes, if held by an adult.
Question 789 Answer: B. No, an infant must always be restrained in a correct child seat. Explanation: infants and small children must be restrained in an appropriate child restraint system.
Question 790. How should a child restraint system be secured in a vehicle? A. It should be placed on a normal passenger seat. B. It should be placed on the floor. C. It should be secured with seat belts or ISFIX fittings. D. It should be left unsecured.
Question 790 Answer: C. It should be secured with seat belts or ISFIX fittings. Explanation: a child restraint system should be secured in the vehicle either with the seat belts of the car or with approved fixings. Always use a restraint system that is appropriate for the age, height and weight of the child, and follow the manufacturer's instructions.
Question 791. What should a driver do when driving a vehicle with young children as passengers? A. Make certain that an older passenger is sitting next to them. B. Make sure each child is wearing a seat belt or using an appropriate restraint system. C. Check in your rear view mirror to ensure the children seated in the back seat are safe. D. Make sure the eldest children are seated in the back seat.
Question 791 Answer: B. Make sure each child is wearing a seat belt or using an appropriate restraint system. Explanation: if the passenger is over the age of 17, it is their responsibility to comply with the seatbelt regulations. Below that age, it is the driver's responsibility.
Question 792. What is the purpose of side impact protection bars? A. To protect the doors from becoming damaged in the event of a crash. B. To make sure that the vehicle cannot be overturned when hit from the side. C. To increase the weight of the vehicle, thereby improving its grip on the road. D. To protect the occupants when the vehicle is hit from the side.
Question 792 Answer: D. To protect the occupants when the vehicle is hit from the side. Explanation: side impact protection bars are fitted to some vehicles to protect the occupants of the vehicle in the event of a collision from the side.
Question 799. What should a driver do if they get a tire blowout on the road? A. Switch off the engine ignition to help bring the vehicle to a halt. B. Apply the handbrake immediately to help bring the vehicle to a halt. C. Apply the footbrake gently and bring the vehicle to a halt. D. Apply the footbrake firmly.
Question 799 Answer: C. Apply the foot brake gently and bring the vehicle to a halt. Explanation: if a tire on the vehicle you are driving blows out, slow down gradually and find a safe and suitable place to stop. Switch on your hazard warning lights and change the wheel or call for assistance.
Question 804. What should a driver do if the accelerator jams when they are driving along? A. Engage a low gear and depress the clutch. B. Leave the vehicle in gear and apply the brakes. C. Try and flick the accelerator and the brakes with your foot. D. Engage a neutral gear and apply the brakes.
Question 804. Answer: D. Engage a neutral gear and apply the brakes. Explanation: if the accelerator on the vehicle you are driving jams, select neutral and use the brakes to bring the vehicle to a safe halt. Switch off the engine as soon as the vehicle has stopped. Get the vehicle checked out before attempting to drive again.
Question 805. When driving on the road, what should a driver do if the brakes on their vehicle fail? A. Check that the handbrake is fully off. B. Engage neutral gear. C. Engage a lower gear. D. Engage a higher gear.
Question 805. Answer: C. Engage a lower gear. Explanation: if the brakes on the vehicle you are driving fade or fail, select a lower gear to slow the vehicle down and move to the left to come to a halt. You can also try to regain some braking by pumping the foot brake. This may help you the vehicle to a safe.
Question 806. When driving on the road, what should a driver do if the brakes on their vehicle fail? A. Press the foot brake firmly then release it. B. Pump the brake pedal rapidly. C. Signal to following traffic to overtake you. D. Use a hand signal to following traffic that you intend to slow down or stop.
Question 806. Answer: B. Pump the brake pedal rapidly. Explanation: if the brakes on the vehicle you are driving fade or fail, select a lower gear to slow the vehicle down and move to the left to come to a halt. You can also try to regain some braking by pumping the foot brake. This may help you the vehicle to a safe.
Question 807. When driving along, a driver feels that the oncoming car may crash into their vehicle. What should they do? A. Apply the foot brake gently to bring the vehicle to a halt. B. Flash the headlights and sound the horn to attract the attention of the other driver. C. Apply the handbrake immediately to help bring the car to a halt. D. Switch off the engine ignition to help bring the vehicle to a halt.
Question 807. Answer: B. Flash the headlights and sound the horn to attract the attention of the other driver. Explanation: if there is an oncoming vehicle in your path, flash your lights and sound your horn to alert the other driver. Bring your vehicle to a halt immediately.
Question 808. When driving along and confronted by an obstacle, what should a driver do? A. Apply the foot brake and switch off the ignition. B. Apply the handbrake and the foot brake together. C. Switch off the ignition. D. Apply the foot brake firmly.
Question 808. Answer: D. Apply the foot brake firmly. Explanation: to stop your vehicle in an emergency, apply the foot brake firmly, and maintain the pressure until the vehicle stops. Depress the clutch pedal just before stopping. Vehicles are fitted with braking systems to stop the vehicle.
Question 809. When driving along and required to stop suddenly, what should a driver do? A. Steer sharply to one side and apply the handbrake. B. Depress the clutch and apply the foot brake. C. Apply the foot brake firmly. D. Apply the handbrake and foot brake.
Question 809. Answer: C. Apply the foot brake firmly. Explanation: to stop your vehicle in an emergency, apply the foot brake firmly, and maintain the pressure until the vehicle stops. Depress the clutch pedal just before stopping. Vehicles are fitted with braking systems to stop the vehicle.
Question 810. When required to stop in an emergency, what should a driver do? A. Press and release the foot brake. B. Maintain firm pressure on the foot brake. C. Maintain a firm grip on the steering and depress both the clutch and foot brake. D. Flash the headlights and the brake lights.
Question 810 Answer, B. Maintain firm pressure on the foot brake. Explanation: to stop your vehicle in an emergency, apply the foot brake firmly, and maintain the pressure until the vehicle stops. Depress the clutch pedal just before stopping. Vehicles are fitted with braking systems to stop the vehicle.
Question 811. When required to stop in an emergency, what should a driver do? A. Switch off the ABS system. B. Press the foot brake and engage a higher gear. C. Depress the clutch pedal and engage a lower gear. D. Press the foot brake firmly.
Question 811 Answer, D. Press the foot brake firmly. Explanation: to stop your vehicle in an emergency, apply the foot brake firmly, and maintain the pressure until the vehicle stops. Depress the clutch pedal just before stopping. Vehicles are fitted with braking systems to stop the vehicle.
Question 812. What should a driver do to avoid having to make an emergency stop? A. Drive with your left foot covering the brake pedal. B. Drive with your left foot covering the clutch pedal. C. Keep your left hand available to apply the handbrake. D. Keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front.
Question 812 Answer, D. Keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front. Explanation: when driving in traffic, read the road ahead and keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front. Use the 2-second rule to determine your safe distance from the vehicle in front.
Question 813. What should a driver do to avoid having to make an emergency stop? A. Drive with your left foot covering the brake pedal. B. Scan the road well ahead. C. Drive with your left foot covering the clutch pedal. D. Keep your left hand available to apply the handbrake.
Question 813 Answer, B. Scan the road well ahead. Explanation: when driving in traffic, read the road ahead and keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front. Use the 2-second rule to determine your safe distance from the vehicle in front.